What's up, guys? John Manna here at YouGoProBaseball.com, and I'm so happy to be here right now with my man Stevie Delabar, Major League pitcher, currently with the Blue Jays, before that with the Mariners, one of my good friends. I'm so happy he's here. Stevie, welcome.
It's good to be here.
I'm happy that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
To have your story out there. I mean, so many people I'm seeing on the internet are looking, after they saw the HBO thing, are looking for your information, you know, who's this Stevie guy, and I'm so happy that you could be here and tell your story. So please start from the beginning and let me know how you got into pro baseball, and how you got to where you are now.
I went through the same process as everybody. I went through high school, then I got into college, I got drafted, and then I ended up signing on to go play pro baseball, and then my path went one way as I went through the minor leagues. I eventually, hit a stopping ground where I couldn't get out of A-ball. I ended up getting released by the Padres in 2008. I went to independent ball in finished in 2008, and then into 2009, and then ended up fracturing my elbow on one pitch in 2009 in a game, complete break. I had a plate and 9 screws inserted into my elbow, and then I took 2010 off, and the fall of 2010, the indoor facility that I work for got this new throwing program in, and I wanted to be able to teach it because I was basically out of baseball. I was 26 years old, 27 years old, and I was out of baseball, so I wanted to teach this program to these kids that I was coaching and instructing, to tell them how the program works. So I initially started with a test, and they were basic numbers to start out, and I then went through 10 weeks of this program and started to see my numbers shoot up. I went from baseline 89 to 96, so the program worked out pretty good. And then I then in the spring of 2011 I did a workout with the Mariners, and at the time I felt like I wasn't ready. I was 94, 96 in the bullpen, but I still felt like, that sounds funny, but didn't think I was ready. But I agreed to do the workout. Went really well, and I got to sign on with them. Sent me out to A-ball with the Mariners. I was there for 3 weeks. Got sent up to Double-A. I was there for 2 months, and then August I get sent to Triple-A, which I'd never been Double-A or Triple-A. It was great. And then September 6th came around. I got called up to the big leagues with the Mariners for the first time.
Very nice. So from there, after the Mariners, you played with them for the rest of that season, and where'd you go from there?
I finished out in the big leagues with September 2011 with the Mariners. Then I went into camp the next year, 2012, with the Mariners. Got to start the opening series over in Japan. Got to experience that crazy trip. Came back, ended up breaking with the team, and going to Texas after that. So I made the team out of camp last year, and then I was up until June, and then I got sent down to AAA to work on a few things, and got called back up 15 days later, and then back and forth, and then I was up to stay in July, and then I ended up getting traded away at the deadline, July 31st, to the Blue Jays.
And you mentioned something at dinner before, which I thought was interesting. You were playing the Blue Jays that series. So how'd that work out?
A friend, a teammate of mine, and I were talking in the bullpen, and either of us hadn't pitched in like 6 days. So we said, one of the outfielders for the Blue Jays got pulled out of the game, and we said, hey, maybe we got traded. Not even knowing, nothing. So this guy runs off the field, and we're just going about our business. Neither one of us got in the game. So after the game, we go into the clubhouse, get pulled aside, and the manager says, "Hey, we just traded you." I'm like, "Cool." So, and then we were playing the Blue Jays. They were in town, so I just went to the other clubhouse. And it had been 6 days since I had pitched, so I got to pitch the very next night against the Mariners, against my old
team that you just came from the night before.
Yeah. So I went from one bullpen to the other, and
did you pitch well?
I did.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Now, you mentioned a program before that you were following. I know I've seen tons of guys on the internet looking like, what is the program after that HBO special aired? What is the program that Stevie was on to gain all this mile per hour? Can you give us any insight to that program, or tell us a little bit more about it, or where to find it?
It's a weighted ball program based on player specific needs. It's originally a shoulder strengthening program. You basically throw weighted balls and increase the strength of your shoulder.
Now, do you actually throw them? I saw in a clip that you had something on your arm and you were flinging it around.
It's a sock, and
Okay.
you put the ball in a sock and you create a whipping action. And I told you earlier that I did it without the sock, and the ball came out of my hand and it hit me in the face. So I won't do that anymore. But you see guys doing towel drills and stuff
Right.
like that, so it simulates that motion that you're going through.
Okay. And the program is tailored to each specific individual. There's not just one program.
There's not a
Stevie.
cookie cutter. There's no. You will do the same program that I do. The program, but it won't be exact to what I do because everybody's different. You would do a different program than this guy over here, than somebody. Everybody's specific needs are different. Whether it's the back of the shoulder needs more work than the front. It's all based on what individual player needs.
Very good. Now, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of buzz on the internet going around. Actually, some people are saying, I saw it on the website, that you're throwing harder because you got a new elbow, and it's not because of your hard work or following a specific program. What do you think about that?
I think somebody, I can't even, I think it was Vince Lombardi said the only time success comes before work is in the dictionary. So you got to work hard to have success. So, no, you got to work hard. You got to sweat. You got to get after it. I mean, it just doesn't come easy to anybody. You see the superstars in the game; they work hard for a reason, and they get to where they are because they work hard. It's like nothing's given to anybody. Everybody works hard for what they get. As far as the brand new elbow, yes, it is new, but I still have the same in-game, soreness that everybody gets, or post-game pitching, sore elbow, sore shoulder, sore lat. I still get the same stuff that everybody else gets. I just have metal in my arm now.
So, that was my next question. How do you feel now? Besides the soreness and everything, feeling pretty good?
Actually, I continue to do the program throughout the season. Once again, it's tailored down because my on-field workload is increased. Now my workout has to come down. I can't do the heavy workload in the gym, just as you would see, guys in the off season, they go and get after it in the gym to get their body prepared for the season, and then they go to the season and now their workouts are a third or a quarter of what they're doing as far as the off season workout. So same thing for this program. It's scaled way back, and it's once again tailored to the individual based on their workload. Like starters are going to be different than relievers. High school kids are different because they play two positions. There's going to be, sometimes kids play, they're a catcher and a pitcher. So it all depends on the individual player because there's a 1,000 different combinations you can use for each player.
Now, tell me, how important is it to take care of your arm to prevent? Are you doing anything now specifically to prevent from another injury, or is it just following this program, or are there any arm care exercises that you do?
I go to the gym regularly, so on top of keeping my arm strong, I got to keep my body strong as well because we play a long season. But I do arm care. I do throwing arm care. So something to get my shoulder loose, warm me up, and then when I'm done for the day, I do post throw shoulder uh, routine, and it's nothing crazy. It's nothing that you've never seen before. It's dumbbells and the jobs, the bands. It's not a quick fix anything. It's, get in there, do the work, and it doesn't take long. But
What would you say to a high school or college age guy out there who's maybe watching this, who has aspirations to play in the big leagues one day? Do you have any words of advice?
yeah, as cliche as it is, never stop working. You gotta get after it, because, like I said, with success becomes hard work. You gotta work hard to get to where you want, and I'd say very few people ever get stuff handed to them. So you gotta work hard to get what you want.
Stevie, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to see you, and I will leave some information on the website to where guys can find some more information about your program, and I'd be happy to answer any questions on the website about that, obviously referring with you. But thanks again for being here. It was great to see you, and go Blue Jays.
Thanks for having me.